Okay, this is another IED lesson from Mr. Esterbrook's. Today we're going to learn how to do the, well, one way to do the linkage arm. There's 18 million ways to build this, so I do it differently every year, but this is the part that we're going to try and build. So let's try starting from scratch. New part, standard IPT, create. And the various methods that I use always involve, you got the part in the middle, so this horizontal part in the middle, and then the two curved parts at the end. So I generally use a rectangle or parallel lines. It's easier to create a rectangle, so I'm going to create a 2-point center rectangle. If you use a 2-point center rectangle, it'll create it with the center at the origin. And then it's going to be, that's a little bit big because the whole thing is only about 3.5 inches long. So there's some problems with this if you make that rectangle too long. Then I'm just going to make the circles. That'll be the, one of the circles, the hole, and then that one. And I'm gonna eventually stitch all these together. So we'll see how this comes together. Okay. Now I got the basic components. We can use our geometric constraints because we know those two holes are equal. We also know that the outer arc is equal. And notice I made circles rather than arcs, but it works if you do it right. And the distance between those is 3.5. And then we're going to make sure that's in the middle, left to right, by making that half of that, 3.5 over 2. Don't do the math, let the computer do the math. So now if I stretch this, I want it to end inside the larger circle but outside the smaller one on both ends. You see that? So that way if you pull it too far, then when you extrude it, you won't get the hole here where they overlap. So let's try that. Now we can put the rest of our dimensions in here so it's fully constrained. That needs to be 0.25. Then the dimension of that is, it shows the radius in the example, so we need 0.1875 times 2. Then this hole is 0.128. And what's missing? We're still not fully constrained, so let's see. To check to see what we need to do, oh, it's not horizontal there, so we need to use a horizontal constraint to go between here and here, and then also between here and the center. There we go. So that's fully constrained. We notice there's a little green here, but you don't really need to constrain that as long as it's somewhere overlapping that that area there. You could figure out what the dimension is, but it's not really that important. We finished that sketch, and when we extrude, then make sure you pick just that area, and that area, and the extrusion depth is 0.125. Enter, and there you go. That's pretty much what we need to have. Also, don't forget, always name the parts in the browser, linkage arm. That way when you hit save, and remember, Izzy, always save often, it'll save it with the file name. Okay, thanks for watching. That's another IED video from Mr. Esterbrook's.